All right, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Hey, hopefully this call does not shut off on us like the past few have done on me, but we're going to jump into a very exciting call for you guys today because we're going to talk about social media and how to use it for your agency, how you can use it for selling, how you could use it for recruiting. There's so much involved with it that I think it's a game changer. And if you just tap into it just a little bit, you'll really start seeing some big results. So we're going to have an agent who's been hitting social media pretty heavy here lately jump on. She's going to share some tips with you guys. So make sure that you stay tuned for that. But it's March 28th. We're about to wrap up the month of March already. It's crazy to think about. So many of you are so close to hitting some promotions, qualifying for your first month. So today and for the rest of this month of March, make sure you remember you get credit for production for the whole month. We don't do it by the week anymore. So March is going to be a big month for you for locking in some promotions. So stay to a carrier that's going to place your production on approval if you're running for that here the next few days. So super excited to see where we finished up the month as an agency. You guys have been on fire lately. Couldn't be more proud of everybody for just pushing themselves and just doing big things. I know today's going to be a huge day because I'm wearing my lucky hoodie. This is Alicia's all-time she hates this shirt. She says it's the ugliest shirt in my closet. So I had to wear it today because the last time I wore a shirt that she did not like, you guys went out there and just had a massive day. So hopefully my ugly sweatshirt will bring you guys good luck today. But as we jump into this call, I'll kick off with the verse of the day. This was at our service last night, and it was so relevant to what we're about to talk about when it comes down to social media. So listen to this verse. All right. Jesus answered, "Everyone who drinks this water will be thirsty again, but whoever drinks the water I give them will never thirst. Indeed, the water I give them will become in them a spring of water welling up to eternal life." It was such a good service yesterday, but I wanted to share that verse with you guys because as we jump into social media, I really want you to be on the alert, right? Social media can be the most positive thing for your business. It could also be the most negative thing for your business if you try to seek validation from people on it. So when we jump into using social media, it's going to be about how you can impact other people's lives in a positive light. All right. But don't try to get validation off social media because you're going to be disappointed. All right. Think about that verse. He's the only one that you need to get validation from, right? And water he gives you is the only one that you need. All right. And as we jump into it again, this next slide that was shared was so true of finding out what's in first place. All right. You guys know I'm a big believer. Hey, believe in whatever you want. But from my personal experience, I can promise you, if you put him before every other thing in your life, if you put him before this business, this career, all right, if you put him before your finances, if you put him before whatever it is that's controlling your life, everything seems to just fall into the right place. But if you allow hopefully I'm back. Sam, do you got me? I can see Sam. All right, Sam, we're live. I don't know what it is, guys. Anytime I share my screen now, this thing freezes on us. So anyway, I'm not going to share the screen again, but what I was getting to is if you put him first, this business will work out, your finances will work out, your health will work out, everything will work out. But if you allow this business to control you, if you allow everything else to control you, right, you're going to be upside down. So as we jump into social media, make sure you always keep that on the forefront of your mind because it's very easy to go down the rabbit hole on social media. But we're going to jump into that here. So Sam, I'm going to bring you on here.
Okay.
Sam, thanks for jumping on here.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. Hey, I love the FFA shirt that you got right there.
Yeah, they're my
Nice.
favorite.
Sam always wins the award for having the best FFA shirts. I think she got a bunch of them customized. Pretty cool. But
Yeah.
guys, if you don't know who Sam is. She has been a top agent individually. She's been a top recruiter, and she's very good at making TikTok videos that way, different things. So I wanted her to come on and share that. But Sam, give everybody an idea. What were you doing before insurance? All right. What was your life like?
Yeah, so before insurance, I was always in the restaurant industry. That's what I did from the time I was 15 up until I found insurance. So I've done everything. I've done serving, bartending, hosting. I could probably still walk into a random restaurant and run it with my eyes closed, blindfolded. Literally, that's how, accustomed I was to it. But yeah, so before insurance, just working in the restaurant, working anywhere between 5 to 7 days a week just to make ends meet. I wasn't struggling too bad, but when I was a single mom, it was really hard, and I didn't have that time and flexibility and things like that. So super grateful for insurance and what it's done for us.
That's awesome, Sam. So let's talk about like switching industries like that, right? Was it hard for you to jump into this from going from being in the restaurant business?
Not really, because with the restaurant business, you encounter all different types of people. You deal with
Mhm.
mean people, nice people, happy people, sad people. Really, it came naturally for me. I'm a people person. I love to talk. I will sit there with them seniors for 5, 6, 7 hours just talking. So for me, it wasn't shy. The way that I looked at it was going up and knocking a door was just like coming to greet a table that just got
Mhm.
sat, right? So for me, it was a pretty easy process.
That's awesome. I know a lot of people that come from those industries do very well in this one too. So it's no surprise how good you're doing out there. But Sam, let's talk about social media. So I know you've really tuned into it, right? And I know you've used it to be able to sell policies to people. You've used it for recruiting, but give everybody an idea, like what does your social media game plan look like? Like how does an agent even go about it? Because most of us, we just use social media. Like we just, we scroll through the feed, but we're posting some pictures here, there, but we're not really attacking it like as a business tool. So how would an agent go about doing that?
So there's a few different ways that you can utilize social media. My biggest tip would be pick a platform and stick to it. So a lot of agents like Facebook, they like Instagram. I don't really care honestly to promote on Instagram. Like I'll share pictures of my clients and myself on there, but Instagram's more so my personal social media. Like you see my friends, my family, whatever the case may be. But Facebook and TikTok are like my go-to when it comes to just putting the information out there. People don't know what they don't know. So with Facebook, I just like to drop a post every couple of days reminding people like, hey, I am a state licensed insurance broker. This is what I do. Sometimes I'll share stories about like how I've helped clients and things like that to just bring awareness. But with TikTok, I do it a little bit different. You've kind of got to learn the algorithms, and my algorithm on TikTok is full of insurance agents. But a lot of the other insurance agents that post on TikTok aren't really transparent about what a day to day in the business looks like. So that's kind of what I picked up on my niche. So I'll share TikToks in the car driving home about what my day looked like and how I ran into a client who had a previous agent that was just really unethical, put them in a wrong policy or clean sheeted, and just bringing awareness to that. And it's kind of taken off for me. So it works out.
That's awesome. Now, have you found, Sam, like, are you somebody who's just not shy to come on and make a video? Or was that like hard for you to do at first? Because I know a lot of people will be like, I'm not going on there and making videos.
Yes and no, because I was just like, well, I hope people see it and they like it, but really it's just me personally, I don't care for the likes or anything like that. As
Mhm.
long as I'm getting the message out there, I'll talk about anything. So for me, it comes naturally. It doesn't make me
Yeah.
nervous.
That's awesome. Now, how do you even like when you set up your accounts, right? Like I know you've got your personal one, your Instagram, your is it like a business account or is it just your name and
Nope.
you're just making posts?
So my TikTok handle is Samantha Sales. And
Mhm.
so it's like that, but I try to incorporate like a little bit of personal things. Like I'll make videos with the kids and things like that on my TikTok, just so they can see like, hey, I'm actually a person. I'm real. I'm not
Mhm.
just, gung ho insurance all the time, but when I am, I am.
Yeah.
So I try to keep my TikTok mostly just a group of things when it comes to work and personal, but everything else is just my regular name. They see my face. I'm the brand of my business.
Mhm. That's awesome. I know I tried to share the screen. I'm not going to share it, Sam, because it's going to kick us off of here. But I pulled up the stats
Mhm.
on social media and it said like well over half the world's population is on it. And
Yeah.
out of the people that are on it, the average time they spend on it every day is 2.5 hours,
Yep.
which is just crazy to think about. Like, that's more than people listen to the radio. It's more than people watch TV. Like, pretty much constantly, everyone's flipping through their phones. So, how do you come up what to talk about? Like, do you come out like you write it all down, or if something just hits your mind, you go on there and post it?
When something hits my mind, I go on there and post it. I try to do a mix. So, like the other day, I did a TikTok while I was cooking dinner. So,
Mhm.
like incorporating me making a little recipe, but also talking about insurance brokers and how we're paid. Because, like, I've seen a lot of videos of like TikTok people, and they'll be like, oh, this is what I made this week selling life insurance, but they're not actually breaking it down for potential new people who are interested in the business. So I try to, take a different approach and really give them like the behind the scenes things. So
Mhm.
when it comes up in my head, I'm like, okay, cool, I'm going to make a video about this. Now, if I get to it that day, great. If I don't have the time to it, I make sure I do it the next day. And one thing I've learned with TikTok is in order for you to pop up in the people's algorithm, there's certain times throughout the day that you want to post. So like I'll do it early morning, like at 8:30, so that it's on the front of their feed, but then also in the evening when most people are active going through, their
Mhm.
social medias kind of unwinding from the day.
That's such a good tip. And it's so funny you pick those times because that's when Alicia goes on TikTok. Like I could, like, it's funny. Like hey, I'll just say this. You can know a lot about somebody if you listen to what's popping up on their TikTok feed, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I remember when our kids were little, like every video that Alicia had on there was like of babies and stuff. And
Yeah.
it's like, it's funny how I think like they listen to you talk
Hmm.
when you're not on the app. So then when you go on the app, like stuff pops up. Like I really wanted to buy a tractor. And so I was like, I said something to Elise, like, we need to go buy a tractor. And she's like, no, we don't need to go buy that. But as soon as I opened up the app, I'm getting ads now for tractors and different stuff.
Yeah.
So like the people are listening to you. So if you put that out there, it's going to come back to them. So let's talk about recruiting, Sam. So you've been very good, like writing individually, but you're big on recruiting. I know you've done a lot like in Facebook groups, you've done a lot on TikTok. Give an agent who wants to get started with that because a lot of agents want to recruit, but they don't know like where do I find people if I don't know people. So how would they go about that?
So, kind of like you just said, where do I find people if I don't know people? It's the same thing for the potential new hires, right? Like they don't know what they don't know.
Mhm.
So, I try to be as transparent when it comes to making videos about recruiting. I did one about like the steps to get your license, things like that. Or if I see somebody, posting looking for a job, I'm like, hey, I'm hiring for insurance sales. If you're interested, let's see if we're a good fit. But you just
Mhm.
got to throw yourself out there the same way you do with your clients. Like if you go hit a neighbor, they don't know you, you don't know them, but you're still putting that information out there. It's the same way when you're wanting to start recruiting. I like to be very transparent. A lot of the videos or posts that I see on social media, they sell a dream essentially. And I don't mean that in a bad way because insurance can be the dream that you want to
Mhm.
live, but you've got to see the hard times and the transparent things in order to take it there, right? So I just try to be as authentic as possible. And I tell new hires when we're talking about like my struggles in the business, the highs and lows, just so they can see it's like, you actually got to put in the work for it. But when it comes to just putting yourself out there, just talk about what you do. And then at the end, like for my TikTok videos, I always start with, "Hi, my name is Samantha. If you're new here, I'm a life insurance broker in the beautiful state of North Carolina, and I hold X, Y, and Z non-resident state licenses." And then I'll go into what I'm talking about. But at the end of the video, I'll say, "Hey, I'm also hiring if you're interested, specifically in these states. If you are, let's connect together and start a conversation." So I'm not afraid to put myself out there because that's what you have to do in order to
Mhm.
grow, you know?
Yeah. Now, when you first started doing it, did you get a lot of views? Like, how many views do you get
I
on
would
those videos?
say yes. So in my TikTok, anywhere between about 200 upwards to I've gotten like almost 3,000 views on a few
Mhm.
videos. So it just depends, but it really breaks down to the hashtags when you're using TikTok. Facebook's a little bit different, but TikTok specifically is what I've chosen to focus on really heavily when it comes to putting myself out there.
Mhm.
And with that one, it breaks down to the hashtag. So I'm hashtagging life insurance sales, life insurance broker, the states that I'm looking, the cities that I want to hire specific people in. I'm hashtagging all of those so that it pops up on that person. Like, even though I'm here in North Carolina, I can find somebody all the way in Texas just by hashtagging, "Hey, San Antonio, Texas," and they open their app and they see my face. And next thing you know, we're starting a conversation.
That's awesome. I think that's what like the disconnect is for a lot of people is they don't want to go on social media because they're like, I'm not an influencer. I don't have, 4 million followers. But with this business, you don't need a lot of views. You just need the right people to view the video. Like if you
Yeah.
have 50 potential people looking for a new career, see your video, you might have just found your new top agent and your agency off of that one thing. So
Yep.
I think that's key too. Now, how do you even get started getting followers? Like, let's say no, they don't even have TikTok and they just open up an account. What would you tell them to like get things going?
Follow everybody within the agency for one, and then
Mhm.
just start posting. And like for me, I'll see other videos. Like last week I commented on somebody else's video and it wasn't even mine, but she was talking about how she quit her 9 to 5 corporate job to go into serving. And I put one simple comment and said, "Hey, I used to be a server too, and you're right, the money is amazing, but if you think that's good, check out life insurance sales."
Mhm.
And whenever I made that comment, it blew up. There was over 500 likes on the comment. I've gotten so many different DMs from people. I've hired some people just from that simple comment alone. So just
Mhm.
follow people that you like, that you see. I follow a ton of influencers that I followed for a really long time, and just start posting. Just put yourself out there. Like, there's really no secret to it. You just have to kind of do it and go from there, and then test the waters for your own personal algorithm.
Mhm. That's awesome. So do you think is there like a certain amount of videos or posts an agent should make each week, or how do you think they should do that?
So, if you're typically starting out, I would say you want to make a post probably every other day, or like at least 2 to 3 times a
Mhm.
week. I try to make one every day, but with the day-to-day life, sometimes I don't have time to pull my phone out, in
Mhm.
between and stuff like that. So, just try to post at least, a few times a week. What I try to do is like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then maybe one on Sunday talking about things. So
Mhm.
just as much as you feel comfortable with. And then TikTok has like a lot of different cool features. Like, you can download CapCut and it'll help you like with what's trending on TikTok and stuff like that. And that's another thing. If you're new to TikTok and you're starting an account, look at what's trending. So whether that's an audio sound or a certain hashtag or a certain challenge, do it, because that's going to bring more traction to your page, more interaction. You're going to get followers that way. And then next thing you know, you're just talking about insurance or whatever, the case may
Mhm.
be for it. And it kind of gains a following.
That's such a good tip. That's one too that I think a lot of people do is I know I've noticed this on TikTok for sure. Like every week there'll be like a new song, and
Hmm.
it's like every video has like when the halftime show came out,
Yep.
like everyone's still playing that song
Yep.
on most of their stuff, but it actually works. I remember the very first time I messed around on TikTok, we were at a boat show. And so I took this video of this boat, but I just added the music that everybody else was adding, and it got like almost 150,000 views
Yep.
just like that. And then I made another video of a cooler. Like this isn't even business related. I didn't even know what I was doing. I was just messing around on the app, right? But I did like an igloo cooler, like a cheap one, and our Yeti, and how the igloo held ice better than the Yeti.
Yeah.
And you know that voice on TikTok, like you can have TikTok read the captions for
Yeah.
you. Well, I put that girl's voice on it. That video got almost like 550,000 views. Igloo, the cooler company, asked me if they could share it to their page. And then I ended up taking that video down because I was afraid Yeti was gonna like get involved because I said their cooler it got like it exploded. But it was just something so silly. So like I think that's a big tip for people too, is people on those apps like humor, not necessarily just business stuff. You know, like you were saying, some people on there, they just kind of sell a dream and then it's like, you know, sign up for my course, or nobody really watches that. But if you
Yeah.
have humor, right? Like you're cooking dinner, your kids are running around, people can relate to that. Then you talk about business, you're going to get more views than if you're just like sitting in a suit and tie and trying to talk to somebody about insurance. Nobody's going to watch it, you know? So I love how you incorporate it in your daily life. So let's talk about Facebook. Do you do anything with like Facebook Reels? Like, do you take your TikTok videos and put them on there?
So I do not. I probably need to start. So when it comes to Facebook, a lot of my Facebook is like old family friends, family, people within our agency, things like that, and they kind of know what I already do. So I take a different approach for Facebook. So like yesterday I made a post about unethical insurance practices because I ran into so many people this year who have been clean sheeted or just put in a graded period when they qualify for day one. You get what I'm saying? Just a bunch of different things, scenarios. And I made a post about that yesterday. But when it comes to Facebook, what I try to do is I'll share my clients' pictures that we take with them. And I ask them if it's okay, of course. But I'll post it to my story. Or if I make a TikTok, I put it on my story because people, when they open the Facebook app, they're clicking what's at the
Mm-hmm.
top, essentially. You get what I'm saying? Versus scrolling through the feed and they might miss me. So I tried to essentially put that just like on my stories more than anything. But I do get a lot of messages for policies through Facebook versus TikTok. I've gotten a few clients from TikTok that have found me, but most of that is like recruiting side of things.
Mm-hmm.
But Facebook is where I have like one of the girls that I helped yesterday, she had reached out. We went to middle school together. She reached out to me a couple of weeks ago looking for coverage for her mom. And that turned into her and her sister both taking out two separate policies on their mom, plus protecting her family and now her sisters as well. So with Facebook, I just try to keep it like of what I do essentially. So like, hey, I'm a
Mm-hmm.
life insurance broker. This is my job. This is how I help. I share my clients' stories, things like that, or just push a policy review more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of it for Facebook.
That's a good tip though, because I think if you do the if you do the same thing on each app, it gets redundant and then people kind of will stop following. But if you're if you're attacking each one a little bit differently, you're hitting different classes of people, you know. And I think on posting on the Facebook, if you guys make a post right now today, well, you if you don't get anybody reaching out, don't worry about it because somebody might have saw that. And then 2 months from now, they're like, oh, something happens. I need insurance, you know, whatever. And then they're like, oh, I remember Sam does insurance. And it comes full circle. So it's kind of a delayed gratification, you know. But when you make a post on Facebook, Sam, let's say you make a post about life insurance or what you do, and then somebody like, are they just messaging you privately, or if they like it, are you reaching out to them, or do you wait for them to reach out to you?
So I kind of wait for them to reach out to me, which I guess I should try to push a little bit more, but I don't want to come off as somebody who's just sales hungry, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
that's never my intention. Obviously, I would love to get everybody on my Facebook list signed up for insurance, but that's not going to happen. You get what I'm saying? So if they reach out to me, I try to be transparent as much as I can through the message, and I'll give a little bit of information and then I'm like, hey, here's my number, just call me and let's go over this on the phone, and I go from there. One thing that I will add, it is important to know your market, right? So when it comes to social media, a lot of these seniors that we normally get leads for, they're not on social, so the market changes just a little bit. So when I'm posting on my socials, whether it's Facebook or TikTok, I'm not talking about final expense insurance. That's one thing
Mm-hmm.
that I will throw out there. I'm specifically targeting the traditional terms, whole life, IULs, things like that, because the market changes just a little bit. And that's one thing I will say. A lot of the clients that I've attracted through social media, they are in their younger 20s, 30s, and 40s. It's a different thing, but they're not educated enough. So I try to take like an educational stance whenever they do message me about coverage and really dig deep and figure out what exactly their need is.
Yeah, that's huge because just like you said, you're reaching a different target market of people
Mhm.
and you're reaching generally maybe younger people. Like out of all the social media users, most of the users are like, you know, I think it said 35% of everybody on social media was between 18 and 24 years old,
Yep.
so which is crazy. But I can think back to when I was 24, not in insurance yet. I had no idea where to go to get life insurance. Like I thought you could Google it. I mean, I had no idea until Alicia got her license. And I was like, oh, that's how, but I didn't know. And so if I would have had a friend post on there that they do it, I would have just reached out to them. So don't be afraid to do that, guys, because you have a lot of people on your Facebook feed that need term insurance. They just bought their first house. They just, they need something to cover the mortgage if one of them passes away for their spouse, different things. And honestly, most people don't know where to turn. I think the life insurance stats, Sam, say that like 80% of people who have coverage know it's not enough. And then out of the 50% of the country that doesn't have life insurance, one of the biggest reasons they don't have it is because they say it's too complicated to get it. And it's
Yep.
really not. It's really easy. Just people don't know where to go to it, So that's key. But Sam, what would be a tip for an agent as we wrap up the call? Like, if you think about how social media has impacted your business and maybe they are introverted, maybe they don't want to post videos, how do they break out of that shell and just start doing it? Like what's a tip you have for them to just jump all into it?
So, my biggest tip would come in a form of a question, and that would be, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? Do you enjoy
Mhm.
spending a lot in leads every week, or would you want to make one video and potentially get either 5 new hires or 5 new applications in? And so, honestly, how bad do you want it? Because if you want it bad enough, that shyness, that introvertness, it's going to go out the window. It's not going to matter because
Mhm.
you want it. You want to educate people, you want to put yourself out there, things like that, and just really be the best insurance broker that you can be, because we have the ability to help anybody. It doesn't matter their health, it doesn't matter their age, unless they're over 90, then unfortunately, we can't really do anything there. But
Mhm.
how bad do you want it? Do you want people to know exactly who you are when you are talking to someone on social media and you put yourself out there? Well, then that person might know somebody else who knows somebody else who needs coverage, and just because you made one video, you just protected 5 different families. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I feel like that's what insurance is all about. Insurance is not one size fits all. Don't limit yourself to just leads that you're having to buy. Put yourself out there more and just do it. If you don't like doing videos, cool, do a slideshow. Canva is free. You can utilize so many different things and just upload pictures about, like, hey, this is the insurance breakdown, or back during Halloween, I did 10 days of spooky life insurance facts. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And just making it fun. Have fun with it. Find the enjoyment in it. But remember deep down, how bad do you want it? How much do these clients' legacies mean to you to be able to protect and help them?
Love that tip, Sam. That's gold. Guys, take everything that Sam said on today's call and just run for it, right? I think the hardest thing is just getting started, just getting started. Make a video. You would be surprised if you guys are watching this. People are interested in you. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but there's a lot of nosy people out there in the world that sit there and they're watching your Facebook. And if you just go on there, you would be shocked at how many views you'll actually get, how many people will reach out to you. But the only thing holding you back is yourself. So if you don't change, nothing will change in your business, So Sam, super appreciative of you for jumping on here and sharing those secrets with us on today's call, and super proud of you because I know you're shaping up to probably have one of the biggest months ever in the month of March. So nice work to you,
Fingers
Sam.
crossed.
Guys, that's all we got for you. We appreciate you for jumping on. It's Friday. I hope everybody has an amazing weekend, and we will be back here on Monday.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Sam.
Bye.